Imagine living in a place where you have to bring a firearm when walking your dog due to the polar bear danger. Well, that is what life is like for the locals living on this remote island in the Arctic. And guess what? I'm one of them. You've seen me in my videos hiking with a firearm on my back, and I haven't yet made a video about the subject because I wanted to do my research before. And now that we have new laws and regulations in place, I thought it would be a good time to explain how it all works here on Svalbard. My name is Cecilia and I've lived here for 7 years. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're not new, welcome back.
Också skjutsa under.
Hallå?
We're gonna go out, raise the flag and show everybody that we're here. So if someone coming up, they can look at the flag and okay, someone shooting, then they know.
So this is what we're gonna be shooting on. And we're gonna put this one up, how far is it, 60 meters? No. Just a quick disclaimer. The purpose of this video is to be educational regarding the laws and regulations around polar bear protection on Svalbard. Both Christopher and I have a license to carry polar bear protection issued by the government on Svalbard. All the information regarding the laws and regulations mentioned in this video come from the government's own website.
But I think we're gonna do for 50 meters.
50, okay.
And when the shotgun is 20 meters.
Yeah. This is good, right?
Yeah.
So now we take this outside. First we have to choose a booth, open up, and then we're gonna put this outside because it's all outside in the snow. Step 2 done. Oh yeah, but. Let me see what else. This is from the warm room into the cold room. So this is what this looks like. Let me quickly set the scene of where we are. Svalbard is the last stop before the North Pole. This Norwegian archipelago is an Arctic paradise with incredible scenery and extreme seasons. The island of Spitsbergen has 2 villages. Longyearbyen, which is where I live, is the main village where around 2,400 people live. It has an airport, schools, and most of the modern amenities of a regular town. 60 kilometers west of Longyearbyen lies Barentsburg, a Russian coal mining town with a population of about 400 people. It's only accessible by boat or by snowmobile. Svalbard lies under the sovereignty of Norway. They are the ones who decide on the laws and regulations for the entire archipelago. Svalbard is also the home of one of the world's largest predators, the polar bear, the king of the Arctic. Polar bears find themselves at the very top of the food chain. They don't have many natural predators at all. Ironically, the only one they have to fear in their natural environment is their own kind. You can encounter polar bears anywhere on Svalbard all year round, and anyone traveling outside the settlements must be equipped with suitable means of scaring off polar bears. The Office of the Governor of Svalbard asks you to carry a firearm with you, as well as a signal pen or flare gun. In order to get polar bear protection and to be able to apply to have a gun, this is one of the things that is mandatory now. It wasn't when I got mine and I applied, you didn't have to do a training course, but now you do, which I think makes a lot of sense because like me, I had never really handled guns that much. I've done a little bit of skeet shooting, but it's not like I was prepared to just, go out there with my gun and protect myself. But what I did, since it wasn't mandatory, I still went here with Christopher actually, and he showed me how to use my gun and how to use it safely and how it worked. So I did a training course, but not like a mandatory one. But so nowadays it is a mandatory course. So what is required in order to be able to apply for polar bear protection? There are 3 different permits for firearms. Either it's for hunting, for shooting sports, or for polar bear protection. And we will only be talking about the polar bear protection permit. The general requirements for Svalbard resident are: the applicant must satisfy the character, sobriety, and suitability requirements. Foreign persons with a permanent resident address in Svalbard are required to obtain a police certificate from their home country. The police certificate must not be more than 3 months old. The applicant must be at least 18 years of age. The applicant must be registered in the population registered with an address in Svalbard. The applicant must also document sufficient proficiency in the use of firearms for the firearm in question. But what if you're just visiting Svalbard? It is possible to borrow or rent a rifle approved for polar bear protection. The person renting a firearm must present a Norwegian firearms license, a European firearms passport, or a valid loan permit. When you apply for a permit to borrow a firearm for protection against polar bears, it is assessed according to the same rules and requirements as mentioned before. Regarding the Firearms Act of Conduct, one of the conditions that must be satisfied is that the applicant can document sufficient proficiency in the use of firearms for the firearm in question, meaning some sort of official firearm training. The processing time for applications for a permit to borrow is currently 6 weeks. But that being said, it is not advised or common for tourists to rent their own weapons when visiting. There are many amazing trips and adventures offered by different companies in town, which is the best and safest way to experience Svalbard. So that is what you have to do. You have 2 main options for polar bear protection, and that is either a shotgun, like the one I have here, or a rifle, like the one Christopher has here. These are your main options. There's also a third option, which is to have a revolver, but that is not as easily to get as it was before. So you will see some people walk around with a revolver, like a Magnum 44, what's it called?
Yeah, 44 or 462. So.
Yeah, but back in the day, you could more easily get approved to have that as polar bear protection, which is not really the case now. But so what I carry every day when I walk my dog and everything is a Mossberg 500. And if you know anything about guns or you've heard about skeet shooting, you would probably have those kind of, what's it called, bullets in this. I'm not very good with the lingo when it comes to this. But what we have is, we load these with slugs. So instead of having the casings where they literally like throw pebbles at a polar bear, we have one solid bullet, which is to make more damage. But you also have to realize we carry these to only really shoot when it's a life-threatening situation. It's illegal to shoot a polar bear. You will get a hefty fine if you haven't done your own job right and if you've put yourself in this situation. But then again, we live with the polar bears on the same place. So we try to stay out of their way. They're usually out of our way. We do our best. And also what's good to note is if I was ever to shoot a polar bear, there would be an entire investigation where they look at absolutely everything, including tracks, where I've been, what I've been doing. So it's not just shoot, but if you need to save your own life, it is just shoot. The polar bear has been protected by international law since 1973. It's considered a criminal act to hunt, lure, pursue, feed, or disturb a polar bear, and it is something that is taken very seriously here on Svalbard. When outside the village limits, it's our job to make sure we stay out of their way. And like I said, it's illegal to seek a polar bear out. There are thankfully very few incidents each year, if any at all. And in the 7 years I've lived here, I've never had to raise my gun. But polar bears can be very dangerous animals. And one of the last incidents resulted in a person being killed by a polar bear on the camping grounds just below the airport. Incredibly sad. It was quite difficult to find accurate information on how many polar bears have been killed by humans on Svalbard. But on the website Environmental Monitoring on Svalbard and Jan Mayen, I found this article that reads, polar bears used to be hunted extensively in Svalbard, but the species has been totally protected since 1973. Few are now killed. Polar bears killed after 1973 have mainly been shot. In exceptional cases, bears are killed for humane reasons or because they pose a danger to life or property. In rare cases, polar bears have died due to complications during tagging or research.
Today we're using practice bullets, like full metal, so we can shoot at a target. So that's what we're gonna have.
The reason why we are on the shooting range today is to practice shoot. Even though we hope to never have to use our guns, gun safety and safe gun handling is a main priority. I need to be confident in handling my gun.
I wonder how I did. I think I did pretty okay. Because I could see, I did! They're a sequence. What's it called? De är en grupp. They're in a group. That's always interesting. All right, so I mean, I'm okay with that as a starting. We've got a 9, 5, and a 6. Very obvious the scope needs some adjusting, but we're doing good. We're doing good.
Så tejpen hinner frysa på vägen dit. Så det går inte ens att tejpa det.
Now the time has come to shoot what I have for polar bear protection, which is the Mossberg 500. This is going to be a lot less comfortable than the rifle. Because the recoil of this one is a lot more and it's going to be a lot louder. So, but we're not going to shoot very many of this one. We're just going to shoot 1 or 2 and that's it. So let's do that. To do that also, we have moved our target to the 20 meter area. So we're going to shoot from here to there. It's a lot less far, a lot closer. And we're going to see how my aim is. Without any sort of scope. This is just point and shoot. Because this is going to give me a good idea of, you know, potentially if I need to save my own life, will I even be able to? By the way, I'm going to shoot this one standing because there's not any time I would sit down if I need to use this. Also, I'm pretty sure the recoil would probably make me topple over. So this is a standing one for me because that's how I would use it if I was out in the field. This is gonna hurt a little bit. Squeeze into your shoulder. Okay. Do you think I'm gonna make the blinker?
Maybe. It's kind of difficult to...
Red danger. Okay, okay. I don't think I shot it. Do a better squeeze in my... I need to have it further. It clicked. Shit. Try it again. Here's the one from the Mossberg. You can clearly see that it makes pretty big bullet holes. But I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, we got 2 out of a couple. Yeah, I think we did pretty good. I'm okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm cold.
Yeah.
It's. I think that was the last one. Oh, I need to warm up. I think it was really good to have done this now for this year. We'll come back soon again, probably. We just want to make sure that, you know, we stay safe. But so far, we've never had any sort of situations. I've never, ever fired my gun in the field, which is a good thing. We've used other things to scare away polar bears. We've used pots and pans. We've revved a snowmobile. So there's many different ways to go about it. This is just life-saving or life-threatening situations. I think that's very good and very important to highlight. We don't carry guns here just because we think it's cool, because we think it's fun. It's because we have to. And then with that is mandatory training now, which I think is absolutely so good that they put that as made a decision. Before it was a mandatory. When I bought mine, you taught me how to use my gun. So I think that's a really good step forward also for gun safety. But I feel like gun safety here is a huge important thing. We're gonna go home and clean my gun. And we're gonna clean up here and we're gonna close up. And I'm gonna put on some clothes because I'm a little bit cold. This is our first winter day in a really long time.
No,
Yes.
starting to be winter.
Okay. Let's go. Hold up. Thank you, ma'am.